There's an image that went viral 4 days ago, and almost nobody is analyzing it correctly. Lionel Scaloni, the coach who made Argentina world champions, breaking down in tears in front of the cameras. And it wasn't just about the loss, it was about something he said afterward, a line that left an entire country in shock. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happened in that press conference, what Messi's silence since then really means, and why this final ended up being so much more than just a result on a scoreboard. And I'll tell you now, the line Scaloni said at the end of this story is going to change the way you see this whole situation. But first, we need the full context. Because to understand why this hurts so much, you have to understand what Argentina was on the verge of achieving. Messi arrived at this World Cup at 39 years old, the age when most players are already on their way out, and yet he had the best statistical tournament of his entire World Cup career. 34 shots attempted, 18 of them on target, the highest number of the entire tournament. 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 direct goal contributions, again the highest total in the whole World Cup. 25 key passes, leading to teammates' shots, also a tournament record. With numbers like that, we're not talking about a player who still has it. We're talking about a 39-year-old man statistically leading the entire World Cup, ahead of players 20 years younger than him. And under that leadership, Argentina reached the final. They were going for back-to-back titles, something only Brazil and Italy had ever achieved in men's football history. They were also chasing a historic streak. Since the 2019 Copa America, Argentina hadn't lost a single final. 5 years of winning everything they played. Against Spain, that streak broke, and it broke in a way nobody expected. I want you to hold on to this detail because later it's going to connect with something Scaloni said. Throughout the entire match, Spain built a plan specifically to shut Messi down, not give him a single yard of space, and it worked almost perfectly. Spain ended up controlling 65% of possession. They took 20 shots against just 2 from Argentina. Of those 20 Spanish shots, 12 were on target. Argentina, in the entire match, only managed to get 1 shot on frame, and that 1 shot belonged to Messi. It was blocked. In 120 minutes of football, the man who had statistically dominated the entire tournament finished with 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 key passes, and barely 0.04 expected goals in the most important final of his life. But there's an even bigger detail, and this is where things get genuinely strange. According to Opta, Messi didn't even touch the ball inside the opposition box during the entire final. Not once. And that had only happened to him one other time in 31 World Cup matches. It was the 2014 semi-final against the Netherlands, a game that was decided on penalties. In other words, in more than 20 years of World Cup history, only 2 matches where Messi never entered the opposing box. And one of them was exactly this final. Argentina finished the match without a single shot on target as a team, aside from that 1 blocked attempt. And to make it even harder, they played most of extra time down a man after Enzo Fernandez was sent off. Spain settled it with a goal from Ferran Torres in extra time, crowning themselves world champions for the 2nd time in their history. Now, up to this point, this is a story about statistics and a match dominated from start to finish. But what happened after the final whistle is what really set off the alarms. The cameras caught Messi with tears in his eyes as he watched Spain celebrate. He received his runner-up medal and kept it around his neck for several minutes, unable to hide the sadness. Nothing unusual for a captain who just lost a final. But what came next was different. Before the match, Messi had posted a message on Instagram that, looking back now, sounds almost like a farewell. He talked about how the best part of all these years was never just the titles, but the whole journey shared with the group. He thanked his teammates, the coaching staff, and closed by saying that no matter what happens, this group already wrote a story nobody can erase. And as if that weren't enough, in a post with his sponsor brand, he used a phrase nobody overlooked, the last tango. Nothing has been officially confirmed, but it's starting to sound like a goodbye written between the lines. And this is where Scaloni comes in. In the press conference after the match, he was asked directly whether he believed Messi had closed the book on his story with the national team. His answer was honest and confusing at the same time. He said he had no idea, that Messi never stopped surprising him, and that the question belonged to Messi, not to the coach. But then, no longer talking about Messi, talking about himself, Scaloni said something that broke him live on camera. He said he never in his life thought he'd be standing where he is. And he added that to continue, a lot of things need to happen, especially a full reset, and rebuilding a group like this one, something he said would be almost impossible to recreate. That's where his voice cracked, and he walked out of the press room abruptly. His contract with the Argentine national team expires this December, and after that scene, nobody knows for certain if he's going to renew it. Days later, back in Argentina, Scaloni tried to lower the temperature on everything. He said he doesn't look at social media, that he knew nothing about some viral speech from Messi, and that rumors of internal conflict were flat out ridiculous. But he also admitted something telling, that after a tournament like this, you start to rethink things. Meanwhile, Otamendi has already confirmed his retirement from the national team. And there are open questions about other historic figures on this squad, like Rodrigo de Paul or Nicolas Tagliafico. So let's put all the pieces together. A Messi who statistically dominated an entire World Cup at 39 years old, and who, in the most important final of his life, touched the opposing box 0 times, something that had only happened to him once in 2 decades. A social media message that sounds like a goodbye, the last tango included. A coach who breaks down on camera talking about the group's future. And an entire squad where historic pieces are already falling away, one by one. None of this is an official confirmation of retirement. Scaloni was clear. As of now, Messi hasn't told him anything. But when you put together the numbers, the silence, the tears, and the carefully chosen words, what's left is the feeling that we're watching, in real time, the end of something that won't happen again for generations. And that's the real story behind this final. It wasn't just that Argentina lost a match. It was watching, in just 120 minutes, how the player who redefined what it means to be the best in the world got reduced to a single touch inside the opposing box. And how that, quietly, might be marking the end of the greatest era Argentine football has ever had. Now it's your turn. Do you think this was truly Messi's last match with the national team, or is there one more run left in him? Drop it in the comments, and if you want a full breakdown of exactly how Spain built that tactical plan to shut him down completely, stay close, because that video is already on the way.